Oh my god, don't be so rude.
Joking. My legs hurt. Oof.
As a matter of fact, we have arrived.
Yes, Gate, totally saw that.
Hey, who's the guy with the wizard's hat and beard?
It's Gandalf.
No, stupid, wrong franchise. That is Zamoody, the wizard.
Oh, so it's bootleg Gandalf.
I can hear you, you know.
Yes, you heard nothing. Wait, where'd the voice go?
She has left you in my capable hands. Shall we walk? It's not often we have new travelers come to Coldread, but as a community, we would never turn away curious minds such as yourselves.
You can see into my mind?
I can do far more than that. I can read one's soul. Depending on the
Measure of a person, my voice will change from the quiet and mysterious
to the
Bombastic and jovial.
the sweet,
and kind.
to the
Thunderous and proud.
any voice that is needed, I can supply. También puedo hablar en español cuando es necesario. These abilities have helped me to build Coldread from the ground up, and has aided its fellow denizens in discovering their potential.
That must come in handy.
For sure. Especially when I have dealings with our resident smith, Eldurrino. Speaking of which...
Maker's breath! I should melt you down and reform you into a chamber pot for all the shit you're giving me right now!
I'm sure he has some wisdom to depart.
Having some trouble?
No! No. I'm just having a little disagreement with my hammer. It's not ringing right. It does this sometimes whenever I'm working on difficult lines. I need to get the emotion right, and it's not behaving itself. But I have my tricks. If I needed to imbue sadness, I will move slowly and methodically. If I needed to be threatening, I will move quickly and strike with great energy. You can imbue much with the right tool set. And that, dear travelers, is why I'm here. The weapons I forge keep us strong, and bolster even the likes of the Great Wizard. Well, them and water. Drink your water, kids.
So we have a wizard and a blacksmith. Who else?
The one who keeps this place fun and entertaining.
Ah, Pashley, the resident rebel.
You mean resident rabble-rouser.
Isn't that the same thing?
I think it's up to our new wayward souls to be the judge of that. Come with me. I want to show you something.
Drink your water, Pashley!
Okay, so you're a rebel. What does that entail?
I'm a recent traveler myself. Zamoody actually told me of this place, and once I got here, well, I never left. This place needed a bit of spirit, a bit of energy and flair, which I am more than happy to provide through song. I'm a bard at heart. Singing helps me to paint the world with music, to bring color and life to every project I work on. Zamoody brings order, Eldurrino brings structure, and so I provide the mischief. And together, we have made Coldread into what you see today.
Getting our newest residents into trouble already, Pashley.
What? No, I would never.
I'll take it from here. Don't you have somewhere you need to be?
Oh shoot, is it that time already? Stay in trouble, kids!
She truly keeps me on my toes, that one.
So we've got the wizard, the blacksmith, and the bard. What's your deal, voice? Who are you?
I am Renara, the storyteller, collector of legends and crafter of myths. While this may be my title, The skills Cold Read requires of me are that of a practiced mind. I listen, I absorb, and I help fine-tune any projects that ask for my assistance. Like a river provides nourishment, I will always provide a helping hand to those who seek it.
Huh. A wizard, a blacksmith, a bard, and a storyteller. Sounds like the perfect motley crew to run this place.
You don't need to butter her up now. We're already here.
Time to settle down now. I must leave you here, but don't worry. The show is just about to start.
Nice. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, however you may be watching or listening to us, or either here live on Twitch, on YouTube, or on anywhere you can find your podcast. Welcome to Cold Read. That was a wonderful intro that was made by Miss Renara Hawke.
Well, everyone, technically.
Technically, yes. Written and directed by Miss Hawke. So well done. Your shirt is reminding me of a kids show UK called to. It's an awesome theme tune. That's one of your shirts, right, Pash? Or is that?
No, that's Gifmo Pescatore.
That's Gifmos. Oh, I need one of those. If you aren't watching, it says it's a me, so it's awesome. But yeah, welcome everybody. So this particular one, we're gonna delve into the world of Reddit, and we're gonna talk about where to find information, where to look at other people. But before we get too far into all of that, I want to make sure to check in with everybody. So while the intro is cooling itself off, and thank you so much for that, Renara.
Cool.
How is the other side of the world going, Miss Hawke?
It's doing okay. It's doing all right. I managed to get in three auditions this past week, along with editing a few other things, which is really nice. Lots of people are vaccinated in the UK now, and schools are starting to come back now, so it's kind of on the up and up now. So I'm getting ready for an exceedingly busy next couple of weeks, really.
Nice.
And stuff. So yeah, doing good. You'll be able to hear one of the auditions I've done recently actually today, because it's the one that I'm the most proud of actually at the moment. So
yes.
I'm like, yay. So yeah,
Very
all is doing okay.
Excellent. Glad to hear.
We hope.
We hope. Yes. Let's hope it stays okay, because that's the
100%.
biggest thing we need to start worrying about afterwards. Well, very awesome. Very awesome. Ashley, welcome back.
Hi.
Hi. The wonderful Raven Main came in and sat in for you last week. You did an awesome job.
Thank you, Raven Main.
But we missed you, so we're glad to see you again.
Well, thank you. It was a wild weekend last weekend, but the worst is over, and in 2 weeks I should be, somewhat immune to COVID-19.
Nice.
So, but it was literally the greatest issue with what was happening was I couldn't medicate myself until I couldn't stand it anymore, because they want your body to react. And I had a very, very large reaction. So it was about 4 or 5 in the morning on Sunday morning. I was still up. We had watched Downton Abbey, and so finally I just said I'm going to take some Tylenol and some melatonin and go to sleep. But I was basically dead to the world the next day, and then the pain kept coming back. So it was about 2 or 3 days of having to take pain meds.
Yikes.
Tylenol. So that, I'm glad we kind of arranged that. I wasn't anticipating reacting that strongly to it.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah.
So, but it's been really busy. It's about to be busier but hopefully the following week when Luke is back into school 2 days a week, there should be a reprieve there. It's been like 11 months since he's been in school, and I can't tell you the stress that has been this year. And just my heart goes out to all the kids, all special needs kids who've really fallen behind in this. It's just been very sad and heartbreaking this week. Not to bring gloom and doom.
No, understandably. I mean, it's part of life, so I totally understand. So hopefully that all clears up and works out better.
Yeah, we're getting him help with organizational skills like that. That's kind of the big thing is like a lot of 6th graders really need that help, and the public schools now don't want to do the organizational skills classes. I have no idea why, but anyway, so the point is I have to have him sitting right next to me, and I have to be lurched over him, or else he will, kind of drift off because he has ADHD.
Right.
Yeah.
So I have to be like, hey. So anyway, TLDR, get the kids back to school, please.
Yeah. I saw your post. Was it was, I think it was an Instagram post regarding that. So it's nice to see the reasoning of why some people really needed to go back. Because I'm glad that some schools are going back. Because some kids really do need that face to face. So it's awesome.
Yeah, and there is a lot thrown at parents, like, oh, you find your kids annoying, or you're lazy, or blah blah blah, and it's honestly just a matter of like environment for them. So
yeah.
Oh well, we're figuring it out. Maybe he'll be in private school next year. We'll see.
Yeah,
a lot of things to think about.
Good luck to you. Hopefully you found some time to do some auditions as the week went. Nope, and that's fine.
Nope.
Maybe this week then.
This week.
Very cool. Eldurrino, how was your week, my friend?
Good. I need to ask Pashley a quick question. What kind of Dunkin' did you get?
I got just regular vanilla Dunkin'.
Okay.
Just like not vanilla, but I mean vanilla in the like cream and sugar and coffee. That's it.
Oh, that's cool.
Plain.
I go to Dunkin' at least 2 times a week, so that's what I'm wondering.
Well, we bought Lydia a laptop today, and there was a Dunkin's there, and I'm like, I need a little more.
Oh, sure.
Punch.
No, I feel you. I should have done the same because I was like, oh, I'm gonna have time to take a nap when I get home, and nope, that didn't happen.
No, I needed help.
Yeah. No, it's just because we spent a lot of time shopping, and which I'll cover here in a minute. This week was decent. The snow has finally stopped. Woo! Thank the Lord, because I'm very sick of shoveling, and I'm tired of snow, and then it melts, and then snow, and then that vicious cycle. Got some auditions in, not as many as I wanted to, but I still did about, I think, 6 or 7. So
good.
That made me feel good. I'm going to try and do more tonight after I go search for some. I had a couple that I had recorded, but I had not submitted. So I probably will look over those and see if I actually want to put them out there or not. What else happened this week? Almost done with Breath of the Wild.
Nice. Woo. Yeah.
Well, sort of. And then I just went shopping earlier, and I went to the pet store. And for all of you that don't know, one of my dreams, as silly as it sounds, is I want to own a husky at some point. I want to have
okay.
Prepare for screaming.
No, I am fully aware of the responsibility that comes with it. But I want to raise it from being a puppy. So we went to the pet store because I know that there's a husky there that has been there for a while. And so we went there, and there was now 3.
Oh god.
So,
oh no.
Yeah. So I'm like,
not take 3.
No, that'd be way too expensive and way too much pain. But yeah,
Huskies turn up on next stream.
Well, no, like we were shopping because my girlfriend needed to buy some clothes for work, and so she was like, "We should stop by the pet store real quick." And I was like, "Yeah, okay." I want to see the husky, and then I saw that there was more. And I was like, "Get me out of here! You're breaking my heart." So, so that was cool, and we got some gourmet chocolates, which is also nice. Yeah, that's about it. I don't really have much else to speak of. It was a pretty lax weeks as far as what I'm used to, anyways.
Well, very cool. Well, it's glad to have you here. Tooth is healing, or lack of tooth is healing well, I hope.
So, so I got that tooth pulled. I mean, that was a few weeks ago now.
Yeah.
That's been absolutely fine. I haven't had any problem with that. But on Tuesday, I got fillings, and they did 3 of them, and they're still kind of bothering me. They're still a little sensitive, but I mean, I know they're probably going to be like that for the next 4 days or so. But I mean, that's like, it could be a lot worse. Like I could have like really bad cavities. So I'm glad that they're taken care of now as opposed to in the future. And then the 10th, I have more of them to get, as well as the 24th.
Yikes.
That'll be the last dentist visit until like July when I have my next cleaning. So
nice.
Looking forward to it in a weird, sadistic way.
Yeah. It's interesting because actual dental work, when I got my wisdom teeth pulled, some stuff changed in the way that of what I could do. So it's something to keep in mind that if you ever do that. This dog is going crazy behind me. It's driving me crazy.
No, I'm just gonna be happy to have it done, so that I don't have to keep going back, because like having to take time off and whatnot. Like, so I went. This is actually kind of a funny story. So I went Tuesday, during my shift. I just was like, I'm gonna take a couple hours off or whatever, and then I'll just work the rest of the day. And so I went back to work after I was done. The numbing agent was still in my mouth. And then closer to like I worked till 4:30, closer around 4 p.m. I ended up falling asleep at my damn desk because the pain had kicked in, and it was putting me to sleep essentially, because it was very hard to bear. And so I was supposed to clock out at 4:30. I wake up, it's after 5.
Oh shit!
And so I was like telling my boss about it. I was like, you're gonna see a time punch yesterday that was like half an hour after I was supposed to. I'll be honest with you, I was in a lot of pain and I passed out at my desk because of it. And he's just like, don't worry about it. The next time, take the whole day off. And I was like, yeah, okay.
And when your boss says that, it's trouble.
Yeah, well, he's super chill about everything. So like, he really doesn't care.
Well, very cool. As far as my particular week goes, I put in, okay, so Tethras, which is the one of the actual audition that you're going to hear today, is a 36-page script. I got like 16 pages in, so most of my time was actually focused on doing that particular one. I did do some because I noticed I hadn't done any voices.com in a while, so I went in and I did some, and still waiting to hear back on that stuff. But all in all, work has been really busy because like everything's starting to speed up again in the world. So we are in turn also preparing for that. So we work has been coming in and out. But yeah, that's awesome. It's all so happy, always so good to hear from everybody. So today, this week's topic. So I turn to the world of Reddit. Reddit is a very, very interesting website. For those of you who don't know, it's mostly a message board website. And I looked through and found a couple topics, and I found an individual who was asking for advice. So I'm going to read this particular post. And then I'd like for us to talk about the questions. This is a very young individual for starting out, so I figured it's a good starting point for everybody. So here we go. Hey everyone, sorry if this post violates the rules. I'm not certain if it does, but I have a handful of questions about voice acting. As I'm in a bit of a strange position. I wanted to be an actor for years, but now I'm starting to gravitate more towards voice acting now that I've been doing extremely microscopic projects in my free time and love it. I'm 15 years old, stuck in my house, don't have much of a support system, as I mentioned, no experience. Am I too early to start? Too late? Do my circumstances not bode well? We'll talk about that in a second. I have no equipment or anything besides skull candy headsets and an iPhone. No specific studio space, no high-end microphone, anything of the like. Is this something I need to change? I'm sure we all have a comment about that one. Am I even good enough? My vocal cords are extremely strange and flexible, I suppose, but it's not like I'm a master class with any accent, impersonation, or anything of the like. As I mentioned before, I do not have very far to go. Last one. How the hell do I even make myself visible to the people that do think I'm good enough? Like I said, all I've done is recorded lines and characters for Roblox video game videos and get less than 50 views. It's not like I have much of a resume to send to people. Okay, so this is u/coasterfish at Reddit. So let's take this one at a time. First question is 15 years old, stuck in the house, not much of a support system, no experience. Too early to start? Too late? Did your circumstances not bode well? Opinions?
Never too late to start, I don't think. I think never too late. If you want to do it, it's up to you when you start doing it. If they want to do it.
Right. And on top of that, I don't think it's necessarily too early because, child actors are plenty, and if he has experience in acting, I think that will definitely help.
Yes.
Especially if he wants to start a bit earlier than what a lot of us have done.
Yeah.
it's going to be a little bit difficult depending on whether or not he has completed going through puberty. Because the voice is going to naturally develop and change throughout, the 4 years that you're in high school, essentially, or even before that. So it will be a little bit finicky, but at the same time, if you pay attention to how your voice develops, you can certainly make notes of it and figure out early on what you're good at and what you're not so good at.
Good.
So it's going to be a challenge at first, because you're going to be starting at stuff that if your voice is higher pitched, you're like, oh, I'm good at child voices and such like this and this, and then over the next couple of years, if your pitch drops, you're going to have to throw all that out the window. So no, I don't think it's too early to start at all. You're just going to have to be a bit more flexible as to what you do or what you can do.
Agreed.
When
Ashley
it
is...
comes to the support,
Oh no, sorry. Go ahead. As a parent, I'm curious if you have any ideas on this one.
Well, I'm kind of looking at this more from like a vocal educator and
Yeah,
thinking about what's going on with a 15-year-old hormonally. And I'm currently teaching Sheepy, who is kind of going through the same thing. And the literature there says to be very gentle with these voices until post-puberty. So, and everybody, not to go off on too much of a tangent, but
go for it.
I get so many questions about the 8-year-old singing opera, right? And I'm like, I really hate it. I really, really hate it. It's like, it's the equivalent of asking 8-year-olds to do adult-sized marathons. So back to this subject, it's 15 years old. In every high school, any good music program will have the freshman boys separate. Because there's only like a 3 to 4 to 5 note range for these kids. And there's this, right? So as far as I'm concerned, focusing on like the fundamentals of speech is super important at this age, and not putting out their vocal stuff in a from a transitional standpoint.
So you're saying more practice instead of putting things out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or not pushing the voice so much into trying to do so many, like, not to broaden the tool set, but just to sort of use what they have at the moment and be gentle with it.
Yeah. Yeah. And get the fundamentals in of the vocal production. Cause pitch can drop or it can't drop, so many things, there's so many variables there and how the hormone's going to act on your body and in your voice. So that's what I see when I look at that.
And it makes sense.
I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to walk before you can run. So
yeah,
makes sense.
100%.
Here's on my side, I see, because voice acting is two things. It's voice and acting. The most important thing out of it is the acting side. It doesn't matter how many voices you can do. You have to be able to portray it in a way that is convincing of what you're trying to put out. So I would say, with following Pashley's advice, even if you can't do the voices, act.
Right.
Feel it.
Yes, 100%.
Because in regards to like support bubbles and things like that, and being surrounded by support, I think you reach out. Those are the words I'm trying to say. I think to be the person to just send an email out, talk to somebody, like look yourself, I'd say, and just be that first person to try and branch your network, or just talk to your friends and go, hey, I'm interested in doing this. Do you want to do it with me? And build maybe a more localized support group with friends who might share the same hobby as you, basically. And then you've got people to play off of. Does this sound right? Does this not? And you can critique each other. And I think maybe start out as it more fun rather than go head serious sort of thing. Just build it, have fun with it, and then if you don't seem like you're having fun with it, maybe either dial it back or just do it as a hobby sort of thing. But yeah, I always say if you're not having fun, it's going to show in your product.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and that's kind of how I started with the whole like entertainment interest is. I was just talking about this too with Renara. Back in high school, as a hobby, our library at our high school allowed us to check out video cams, and so myself and my best friend Ethan started making short movies to put on YouTube when it was still in its infancy. And it was a lot of fun. There were stupid, incredibly cringe videos, but I don't care. Like it generated an interest and a spark in me to actually want to entertain people. I love going around showing it to my friends, even if they thought it was like really silly or dumb or whatever. Love showing it to my family. And as we went on, like more and more people started showing an interest in being a part of it as well, because they're like, I don't think I'm much of an actor, but I think it'd be cool to like join you guys. And so like we did a parody of one of the old Starburst commercials. Yeah,
I'd pay to watch that.
I mean, it's on YouTube, so you don't have to pay.
I'll find it.
I'll send it to you later.
Oh, yay.
But a friend of ours, Adam, he wanted to be a part of it, so he threw him in there. He had the opportunity to kick me in the groin, so it's a win-win for everyone except for me. So,
I don't know. Slight tangent. I don't know where it is, but right before, because I did film production, the thing, and what got me into it is one of my friends at sixth form, which I think is college for you guys, around sort of 17, 18 years old. He was doing a movie and he needed just a baddie, someone to go to hit someone or whatever. So I got given the opportunity to pick up a massive log and basically go to try and hit someone with it. I don't know where it is, but it's on YouTube somewhere. And it was so much fun. They completely cut off most of my face or anything, but I was fully invested. And that just reminded me of that.
Yeah, so again, like you should start off as doing it for fun, not necessarily because I have this aspiration to be a voice actor and I'm just gonna put my nose to the grindstone and immediately start looking for work. Like you should do it because you want to, because you think you have a talent or a passion for it, and just do it because you enjoy it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Burnham brings up the good point, thinking of your general advice for everybody. Have fun. Don't feel the pressure to be at a certain level. Be patient. That's also very, very true.
Yes.
Yeah, I have a friend who posted recently. He started voice acting a little bit before the pandemic hit, and he said he spends a lot more time networking than he does in the actual booth and like getting to know people. And that's... Yeah, I found that very interesting because we've been talking about this for quite some time, and he just you have to have like the passion to roll out of bed and do it. I think, without having the pressure of like I need this to pay my bills. You know what I mean?
Right.
It has to be just that lane.
Yeah, and that's definitely a big part of it too. Is the whole networking thing, because you are your own business. You need to be able to advertise yourself to people, or else you're not going to make anything out of it. Sure, you can do it for fun your whole life, but a lot of people, when it comes to the entertainment industry, want to be paid for it, and rightfully so. But yeah, like a good portion of it, like Pashley said, is just networking, just talking to people, figuring who would be interested in your product, and etc.
Your product is your voice.
I was gonna say, if you find a project that you're interested in, that you're actually interested in, like talk to the person who's in charge of that and go, "Hey, this is really cool." Like, and that could be a way of in as well, and stuff. It's just like if you're finding things that you enjoy, even if they don't want you for it, it's nice to just meet people, and if they're doing something you enjoy, support them. Be supportive to people, and you will find it will come back to you. At least in my experience of things. And stuff. So it's just, if you find it, support each other. And I think that's a good way of.
And that's an interesting thing that you bring up, because in this question itself, it does say don't have much of a support system. So it's possible that the parents may see this as them
negative.
As a very negative way of going. And as a parent, that's always very scary to me, because I don't want to be one to hold my child back from something that they want to do. I'm very realistic with my children. I will say that. I will say you got to be careful. You got to make sure you have a 9 to 5 to pay the bills while you're trying to do this. I
feel it could be in the sense of if it's lack of support, it might be that they're seeing it as if this is what he wants to do for his job and that's how he's going to pay the bills. I can understand that being why they're concerned and not so supportive, because my parents were like that too. When I wanted to do acting, they were like, it's a 1 in a million chance. Are you really sure you want to do this? And they spent almost like 7 years just trying to basically stop me from doing this.
Right.
So I think it is important, the whole do it as a hobby. Don't expect to be paid straight away and go it through that avenue. Then you might see some support from the family in that. You're not hanging all of your hopes and dreams on it, which then gives that element of security for the parents to go, okay, so this is just something that would be good if it did, but they've got a backup plan. And I think if that might be a good way to get the parents on board if that's the case. We don't know, but it's what's worked for me. So there you go.
You're going to say something, Pashley?
It's just about parenting your children, and every child's different. But as far as like my son has expressed a desire to be a YouTuber, which I think every kid would.
Right.
But I've said, whatever you decide to do, throw yourself at it 100%, but make sure you can. You don't want to crush their dreams in a way, because that's probably one of the most beautiful thing about children is they haven't been, spoiled by the world yet. So that's what I tell Luke. I'm like, this is a really great hobby to pursue and you should definitely do it. And, but at the same time, I'm like, it's exactly like you say, Zamoody, like, make sure you have your backup plan, So
agreed.
Yeah, I mean, everyone in the entertainment industry has that, whether it be musicians, actors, even Twitch streamers, most of them, when they start streaming, aren't just, I'm going to quit my job and stream full time and I'm going to be able to pay my bills. Everyone starts off with streaming a few hours a day whilst also working a 9-to-5 job so that they can pay their bills.
Exactly.
And then if popularity rises and they can, secure that financial stability through their streaming, then they, can quit their job and then just focus solely on that.
Good. I think we've definitely answered the question. So let's move on to the next one. Question 2 was, I have no equipment or anything besides a Skullcandy headset and an iPhone. No specific studio space, no high-end microphone, anything alike. Is that something I need to change?
No, I started with just a headset phone, but yes, at some point, I agree. Yes, because I again, literally, where is it? This microphone was what I started with. Plug it in there. That is what I started with, and that's what got me Skywind. But I did then go into a studio, got some equipment, rented it, whatever. So yes, I agree. It's a good thing to start practicing in the sense of you've got something to record with at the very least. But as you go on, investing in equipment is probably a good idea.
Right. I mean, the way I choose to liken it is when you start playing an instrument, having a $10,000 guitar isn't going to make you good at playing the guitar.
Right.
You need to learn how to actually play it, and it is a lot more humbling to start with something that is not so great. I started off on a Yamaha guitar from Walmart that was $80 that my parents got for me for Christmas. And it wasn't that amazing. Like it was an electric guitar that was meant to learn on. It was basically for children. But that I was able to practice with that. And the same thing with voice acting. You don't really need high-end equipment right off the bat. If you're looking to just kind of get into or to see if you're have an interest for it, just record stuff that you think would be interesting, whether it be to yourself or to other people, your friends, your family, whatever the case may be. And then as time goes on, and if you decide like when you turn 16, or if you can find something before that, if you decide to get like a part-time job, you can use your own money to invest in higher end equipment. Obviously, like I said, making that huge jump and getting the most expensive thing right off the bat isn't necessarily going to make you a good voice actor. Right. It will help because a lot of people want you to have professional stuff, but it's not necessary right off the get-go.
Right.
I just had a massive, my brain just did a thing. I think because we all hated the sound of our voices when it was first recorded.
Still do.
I feel like that's going to be the same thing for this young lad. So what I was my brain just sort of went, do this. being an actor, I'm sure he must be used to doing like monologues or whatever. So I would say find some monologues, record yourself performing them, and maybe start by you doing those, and maybe put those out as like part of your portfolio, because that's blending like actual like what the acting stuff in like acting in person world into this is what because words aren't working today.
That's fine. You're fine.
But I just thought that might be a good idea to help him in the grand scheme of things get used to recording, get used to hearing his voice, and then from there go for auditions and things like that. My brain just went, you could try that.
I agree. That was going to be pretty much my thing. You've got something to record with. You've got something to listen to yourself with. Get used to your voice. Even if you like it or not, get used to it, because you're going to be hearing it a lot. If you have somebody you like, emulate them and then build off of that. Record yourself doing X person, listen to X person. How close were you? What do you need to change? Keep going. That's a great way to start. And then that's how you learn how to do voice matching. Yeah. All right. I think we got that one.
Yep.
This is probably going to be really good for Pashley, so let's find out. Am I even good enough? My vocal cords are extremely strange and flexible, I suppose, but it's not like I'm masterclass with any accent, impersonation, or anything of the like. As mentioned before, I don't have very far to go. 15 years old. Ashley's already said, don't mess with your voice too much.
Yeah, but I would kind of, am I even good enough? I think you put quotations around good enough and you separate it out and you just say that is such a subjective thing, and that is on a spectrum of things. And there's a streamer by the name of Tyler Levs who's given me a ton of encouragement about jumping into music streams, and you have to measure yourself by yourself.
Yes.
And go from there. Like, I am not as good as Tyler Levs or Jolie at guitar playing and singing, but like, does it make you happy? Does it fulfill you to do it? You will get better if you set your expectations reasonably and you set smaller goals, and then you climb from there. And I think especially in the teenage years, I think teenagers are super concerned about what everybody is thinking of them.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And so I think there's like a psychological piece here to develop self-assurance and self-feeding, filling your own bucket. Like, am I even good enough? No, it doesn't actually matter. I think Tom Brady is a really good example of that. Like, he was the last drafted quarterback in his draft, and now he's the greatest of all time. And not because he started off that way, but because he traveled a journey. He got very lucky, he got paired with a really good coach, but most of that was his hard work. So
good enough, as you said, is super subjective, but I think it's more important that do they feel good enough to themselves, I think is probably, like, you are your own worst critic, and at the end of the day, everyone starts somewhere. So even to someone's highly trained ears, it could sound they won't like it, but some other person might absolutely love it. And every project is 100% different. Art is so subjective that I think the word good enough kind of can't quantify, if you know what I mean. Because it's so different. I think it's more that, again, like what Pashley said, it's about building the self-confidence in yourself and going, did I like this? If not, what about it did I not like? Okay, let's retry it again, do a couple of takes. Okay, I'm there. This is as best as I can do right now. I'm happy with this. Send it. Move on. And I think following just that sort of frame and mindset and not getting swallowed up in the, oh, I'll never be as good as Matt Mercer, or I'll never be this. You're not them. You're you.
Right. The world doesn't need Matt Mercer because there already is Matt Mercer.
Exactly.
Well, it's interesting, Brian is a very good guitarist, and he is very hesitant to play it on stream unless he's sitting here next to me and tinking around on it. And I'm like, babe, you can't measure yourself against like a Bad Wabbit or someone who, I don't know if you guys remember him, Zamoody and Eldurrino. But anyway, incredible guitarist. There's some really, really great talent out there. And I'm like, don't stop yourself from doing something because you're not the best of it, best at it. Yep.
Also, your style and twist on things is unique to you, so you're not going to be like other people. It might be someone might end up looking up to you going, I wish I could be like this person in the end, and you won't even know that, which is sort of crazy, I find.
Right, exactly.
Burnham says, emphasize enough more than good sometimes. I like that. And then Vicious says, the world needs new people. We have the current people already, so heck.
Yes.
So heck being the best. I like that. Very good. Very good. Final question. How the hell do I even make myself visible to the people that do think I'm good enough? Like I said, all I've done is all Roblox stuff gets less than 50 views. It's not like I have much of a resume to send people.
Well,
that's a tough one.
Casting Call Club. I'll always swear by it. Casting Call Club. Sorry.
Right.
Yes.
Well, yeah. not sponsored or anything like that.
No, no.
Yeah.
Could be.
The
Contact them.
the best way to put yourself out there is to put yourself out there. Just if you have an interest in certain roles, or you know already what you're good at, then go out on the internet. There's plenty of places available, and just start auditioning. And we talked about this before. Don't fear rejection. It's a tough thing to get used to. Like we said before, you will most likely not hear back from a lot of things that you auditioned for, and that's fine. Like, you don't have to be bothered by that, but the only way people are going to know that you exist in this world is by saying, "Hey, everyone, I'm over here. I want to be a voice actor.
I'm a voice actor. Come hire me."
Some parts. So yeah, I mean, that's really the best way to do it. Just throw your hat in the ring.
Join as many Facebook groups as possible. Go on Reddit, Twitter, Discord. Make your own server. Find people. Grow your own server from there. YouTube channel if of just your stuff and what you've made and things like that. There's 101 different places. I was recently thinking about this. Where else could I put my casting calls, trying to get it more reach and stuff? And I'm thinking of Reddit. But like, you've got all these different places, and if once you've got your brand, as they do, there's this whole thing of brand. Once you've got your brand, you can then just make accounts on all of those social media and just start going from there, sort of thing.
Yep.
Big tip: do not use your real name. Do not use your real name. Have that separate
Too late.
what your project is.
Too late.
Perfectly
fine by me. I haven't run into an issue yet. Any ideas, Pash? I know you're big with advertising and everything.
It's part of my job right now
Yeah.
is working with my NPO. We're having an outside digital marketing specialist come in because his skills are beyond mine, and I'm trying to learn from him. But analyze we're doing an audience analysis right now. So my organization would not do well on social platforms like TikTok and Instagram as the audience exists right now. The audience we're trying to get is on Facebook and LinkedIn. So we're talking about educators. We're talking about adults between the ages of 30 and 60 that have children and that would have, money to give and children so that they are invested in the process, right? So, or in songwriting workshops for children. So I gave them that advice. It's like, let's get to Instagram and Twitter when we can, but let's really hit LinkedIn for the educators and Facebook for the parents, right? So that is super important. Leveraging each, knowing that Instagram Reels are pushed because they're competing with TikTok, put up Reels. Figure it out. What's that formatting looking like? So really it takes maybe a few glances of social media pages and to see where they are the most successful, what will push your content out. Know your SEO, your hashtags. SEO is super, super important for discoverability on the internet. You don't want to say hashtag voice acting by, and there goes your YouTube video. No. That's probably a super saturated. But if you specify within that niche, like kids and voice acting, something like, you know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah, it's a whole discussion.
No, I like that. I really do. And yeah, once you get to that point, getting that demo reel, putting it all up, it's super important. And yeah, as Burnham and Vicious are pointing out, as a teenager, yes, don't use your real name. It is really, really good advice.
No, but don't use something that will embarrass you later. Correct.
Yes. Mr. Pones everyone 447, wherever you
Pones
are.
Noobs, teabags noobs.
Yeah. Seen them all. Well, very good.
I don't understand what's wrong with those names.
yeah, finding your niche is super, super important. And then yes, being able to advertise said niche is good. Yeah.
And getting to know yourself too as the voice actor.
Yes.
Because that really, really helps the content you put out, period. You know, like, everybody knows me as the opera singer, right? I mean, that's not like entirely what my brand is about, but that's like one of those things that I'm known for. So kind of know yourself and put it out there, you know.
Very cool.
Anyway,
Good. I think this is all really, really good advice. There's a lot of names coming up on chat. If you're watching on YouTube, it's right above my head. Very cool. We're gonna move on to auditions. We're gonna change things a little bit. Normally we would pick an audition and then we would all hear it over and over and over again. We're gonna do the proudest audition that we were of this week, and then we're gonna talk about it. And in this particular one, we also have our first audition ever, and I'm already cringing at coming up with this idea. For most of us, I think Pashley, we've heard your first audition here, so we're gonna exclude you from that particular one.
that's totally fine.
All right, this is Eldurrino. This is your proudest audition. If it's
which one are you choosing? Sorry.
This was the speech.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay.
I do want to preface this. Okay, so this audition was for a like a history type YouTube channel. It does involve Hitler, where I do play the part of Hitler. It's meant to be presented in a comedic manner. Does not reference anything else aside from that. Just a forewarning, if that bothers you, you probably want to tune out for the next 4 minutes.
Yikes. We're going to listen to a couple of them.
Sure.
All right, here we go.
Beer and bratwurst. Beer and bratwurst. Beer and bratwurst.
Okay, everyone. Thanks for coming. We really appreciate...
Not like we had a choice.
Does someone have something to say? I believe I'm holding the speaking swastika. Thank you. I appreciate you all being here. You know how important these meetings are. Now, today's first item on the agenda, how do we get more people to sign up for the cause?
I don't know, Führer.
I mean, we're growing and all, but I don't know how we're going to get all of Germany to agree with us. Right now, we're pretty much still just fringe idealists, and people are saying our views are radical. Well, that's the point of these meetings, Joe. Of course our views are radical. That was weird. We need to push an agenda that requires mass participation and widespread groupthink to work. What exactly is our agenda again? Germany's the best? That's right! Germany's the best! And Aryans are the best race and we're prepared to exterminate all the others. What? Anyways, Germany's the best. Not just the best, the greatest! The greatest nation with the most special people. The people are the best. And the land is the best. So, only real Germans should be allowed here. And we should kick everyone else out. But we can't do that without power. And to get power, we need to get people on our side. So we need to give them something to rally behind. Exactly. But it can't just be anything. People have too many individual factors and measures of morality. Moralities for? That's the one. I can never get that word right. People have too many individual moralities to get them all to think the same thing. So, the key is getting them to stop thinking altogether. And if we can do that, we can use them to back us. Get the people to stop thinking? That sounds a little tricky. How could you propose such a thing? Unless, here we go. I accuse you of being a witch!
Get off the stage!
We've been through this, Joe. It's the 20th century now. We have psychology and a very thorough understanding of the human brain. In fact, I should schedule you a lobotomy.
Oh, please. Thanks.
Now, without further ado...
I'm going to stop it right there. Wow. Okay.
Oh my god.
That's about the most complex audition that I've ever heard. First off,
it was an entire script that they sent, and they said make it as enjoyable as you possibly can because it'll help your chances. So
yeah.
that's what they came up with.
That was really
Wow.
sorry. That was brilliant. Oh my god, I love the where's not word?
Multiple characters.
Layers. That's it. Multiple characters, multiple layers. That was really good. To quote Matt, that's really good.
Well done. I liked it. I liked everything. I wish there was a little bit more distinction between the characters, because the voices sounded very similar. But I mean, what can you do, really? Well, I mean, you've got your voice, and
I mean, it was a 4-minute audition,
right,
so.
and that too. Which probably was one thing that you want to keep in mind is if it was a 4-minute audition, I'll bet you it was like a 20-minute session to record it.
Probably a bit longer than that, but yeah.
Yeah, because it's usually 4 to 5 times longer to get it all together.
No.
Did you not get the part? I was really sorry.
No.
That's really good.
Wow.
No, I didn't. No. I don't know. They had referenced a certain YouTube channel that they're kind of like not trying to emulate necessarily, but like a good example of what they were going for with the idea. But they sent they did actually respond to me. It was probably the only rejection technically that I've ever gotten that said, we decided to move forward with someone else. However, coming straight from the guy who put together this idea, he wanted to say, like, your entry was really enjoyable, probably one of the funniest that we had heard. And we'll keep you in mind for projects down or later on down the road if we decide we need someone with your voice. And I was like, that's okay with me. Like, I don't care about rejection necessarily, and I'm really glad that they were upfront about it and that they, I left a good impression with them. Like that's more important to me than just you making a quick buck.
Well, you're building trust.
Yeah.
Right.
You've made a new contact too, because if not, if you think of it, they're going to come to you, which is great.
Exactly.
Awesome. In contrast, let's hear your first one.
Nice. This might be a little loud, so be prepared.
Oh yeah, I see the WAV files. I'm actually going to turn down the sample mixer because of it.
When you learn how to level.
Here we go.
A new rival.
Okay, I'm going to stop for a second because I actually turned it down too much.
Yeah.
Go figure. Here we go.
A new rival. Prepare to get boarded. A new rival. Prepare to get boarded. A new rival. Prepare to get boarded. Give my regards to Davy Jones. Give my regards to Davy Jones. Give my regards to Davy Jones. When me dander is up, it doesn't come down. When me dander is up, it doesn't come down. When me dander is up, it doesn't come down. Huzzah! Another notch on me leg. Huzzah! Another notch on me leg. Huzzah! Another notch on me leg.
Nice.
No, not even close.
Let me tell you, you were, because we talked about this when we were first beginning. You were doing a little bit more of the emphasis in each word for each take. So it's a good start, and your recording space is great. Listening to my first, you're going to see what I'm talking about. So considering everything that you were doing, yeah, I would have loved to have heard a lot more piratey. But yeah, there was a lot of things wrong with that. The voice wasn't really that great. The recording space was not good at all because it was at my desk surrounded by wood, and the plosives were incredibly annoying, especially in the first takes. Prepare to get boarded. Awesome. That's the only comments that I have. So let's move on. The next person that I have on the list, it looks like, is Renara. So I'm going to do Renara's proud one first. 3, 2, 1.
All right. You don't have to shout at me.
No, that's not my proud one.
That's not your proudest?
That's not my proud one. That's my first one.
That's your first one? Uh-oh.
That's my first one.
I must have done it. Hold on.
Just pay me.
Is that the
one?
Okay, so I've got them flipped. I apologize. So let's start with this one.
Just pay me, all right? Before things get nasty. Just pay me, all right? Before things get nasty. You lied to me. filled up my head with promises, and then threw them all in the fucking dirt. I trusted you with that knife. I trusted that you knew what you were doing. You were the last one that was meant to let me down. You lied to me, filled up my head with promises, and then threw them all in the fucking dirt. I trusted you with that knife. I trusted that you knew what you were doing. You were the last one that was meant to let me down. Sorry, boy. We don't have any more. I will hunt soon, I promise. Sorry, boy. We don't have any more. I will hunt soon, I promise.
Nice. Sorry about the confusion.
Yeah.
I love that you're breath acting. I heard it.
Yes.
Yes.
That was my favorite part, was the emphasis on the breathing to show emotion. As you guys have heard, it's something I use all the time. And I like that you employed that. So good job.
I was going to say the guy changed because initially he wanted an Irish accent, but he found my project and asked me to audition. So I said, I can't do an Irish accent. Is this okay? And he actually changed it from Irish to any, and I was like, oh, okay. But
nice. Otherwise, I really felt it. It was really well done, I think. So good job. Hopefully, and yeah, you haven't heard back or
10th of March is when the deadline goes. Grimm's actually auditioned for it as well because he's Irish. So I was like, made him do that. But yeah, hopefully to hear back from, because I've auditioned for his thing, he auditioned for my thing, so we kind of traded and stuff. So because he's doing, the guy's called Badger something, and he does he's doing an audiobook himself. So he reached out, asked for some info. I gave him that, and we kind of worked together a bit, so it's kind of cool.
Gotcha.
So,
we lost you there, Pashley. You okay?
Yeah, sorry. No, I hit a button by accident and I shouldn't have hit it.
No.
Welcome
Fucking
back.
professional here.
Okay, now I'll push the opposite side. I apologize for that. Let's hear in contrast your first one.
All right. You don't have to shout at me. There's more soup. All right. You don't have to shout at me. There's more soup. I doubt it, Sean. Besides, I found him alone. Anyway, while you do whatever you do, I'm going to hang out with this little guy and feed him and water him and watch him grow. Do aliens work like flowers? All right. You don't have to shout at me. There's more soup. All right. You don't have to shout at me. There's more soup. I doubt it, Sean. Besides, I found him alone. Anyway, while you do whatever you do, I'm going to hang out with this little guy and feed him and water him and watch him grow. Do aliens work like flowers? I doubt it, Sean. Besides, I found him alone. Anyway, while you do whatever you do, I'm going to hang out with this little guy and feed him and water him and watch him grow. Do aliens work like flowers?
So I tried to do an American accent.
That's what I heard. Yes. Okay. Yeah. I was going to comment on that. And
you really hit those R's. Do aliens work like flowers?
And that's all, depending on how much bird R you use, it's like completely subjective to what part of the country you're in, right?
Yeah, right.
You know, but that's probably the biggest challenge of the English language is that, you know, in IPA, did anybody like take a look at that after?
I've not had a chance, in all honesty.
It's super, super helpful. But the symbol is like this upside down R. It's the bird R. It's what we use in like wander, because the Americans really go for it,
Yeah.
But actually, it should be. It's not, and it's also not the full American or full British like Wanda,
Wonder.
So if you want it to work at its most optimum, it's somewhere kind of in between like wonder.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's what that symbol is. It's very subtle, very, very subtle, but it's fascinating.
I have to look into that.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Tangent over.
For those of you that didn't get a chance to see this live, go watch it on YouTube because I think Renara's face completely disappeared and it was just replaced by fingers.
Matt's comment, Renara's American is
Different. Yeah.
Oh, I should remove it from season C. I can't.
No. It's I've got it now, so thank you.
God no.
Next intro. Okay, so I'm gonna do. This is the audition that I'm proud of for this week. So I'm gonna re-preface this. This is how I should have said it from the beginning. This is the ones that we're proud of for this week because that'll change for next week. Here we go.
Yes.
It appears I've forgotten my manners. I apologize. You may call me Tethras. It's a pleasure. Decadence, overindulgence, conceited nobles. This is an imperial city, all right. Far be it from me to judge your, decorative tastes, but I believe corpses are out of season.
That is Tethras. So, like I said, this.
What I thought you were going to do. So I said it from what I heard. But yeah.
So the character is very posh. That's the description of it. Like I said, my voices come with the accents, and I have no idea where I can place the accents. So I don't know. Comments on that? Fair enough.
I wouldn't have used the term posh initially to describe it. It would have been probably more snidey / sort of like.
For most of my characters tend to be that way for some reason, but yes.
Yeah,
that's okay. I think you pull that off really well. I was
Snooty.
actually just thinking like
snooty.
Yeah, like overly confident. I've been watching Once Upon a Time with my girlfriend, and it sounded very similar to Rumpelstiltskin.
Yes.
He's got a very like nasally
very particular way of speaking there, dearie.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it sounded kind of similar to that, which isn't a bad thing necessarily if that's what you're going for.
Aristocratic is what
But I wouldn't say
yes,
posh.
For sure, aristocratic would fit this particular character.
Because posh would be like the Queen's English.
Well, right, yeah.
And aristocratic can be from whatever noble-esque time period, which can be very snooty and very.
Yes.
But yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. Now for me to disappear.
Good. I'm not the only one.
No, you're not. 3, 2, 1. God help me. Welcome to the clinic. My name is Dr. Wade Tambolee. If you require medical aid or curative care, just come to me. Also, if you want to be a part of a special survey I'm working on, we can do just that. We originally hail from a town called Blue Rails. It's located in Utah. We're a small, quiet community, but we get by just fine. You should stop by sometime. Jonah, our cover's blown. Remind me where the escape route is? Over. Jonah? Jonah, do you copy? Fucking fuck! Open fire. Keep firing. Ugh, I'm hit. Target located. I'm watching Eldurrino dying over there from laughing. So, 2 things that I will note from that. A, I've moved out of the tin can that I was living in.
I was going to say that audio quality.
Uh-huh.
I was like, I didn't know you lived in an aquarium.
And B, equipment does not make you a good actor. That is the perfect example. This is an AT-2035. There was good equipment. It was just my recording area was horrible. So something to keep in mind.
I'm hit.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
I think out of all of that, I think the best line to describe that audition or those lines was fucking fuck.
Yeah.
But that was the first thing that I put out in the world.
The I'm hit line was solid, by the way. Like
I'm gonna take that somewhere.
so lifelike.
Hey, you have dirt on us. We now have dirt on you.
Well, hey, that is up on the audio drop file, so it is there.
Hell yeah.
Oh, I'm crying.
Pashley, we're gonna bring up the audition that you are proud of this week as the final.
Or
Here we
2
go.
weeks ago.
2 weeks still that you're proud of this week. Now, here we go.
And I'm Victoria, for your information, and you are Josh, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, I have my sources, but for now, let's talk about you. A ruse. You don't know anything about me. I'm a mystery. It's complicated. I don't want you to get involved in it any more than you already are.
Leave me then.
Are we done? Are we done? Okay. I just looked up and everybody's gone. It was good. I mean,
That was really good.
we have heard that one, Pashley.
Still.
It's back where they belong.
Bomb shelter here. Yeah, it worked. I like I said, it's a work in progress. I think it worked. Did you end up getting the role?
No, I don't think so. I imagined probably they wanted like a higher pitched voice, like anime girly kind of. Yeah. But I mean, I wanted to look for something that was close to my brand,
Right.
So close to being kind of girly, not quite the romantic edge to it, but definitely like super girly and feminine.
Yeah.
So anyway, but that's what I'm more looking for. I would never venture to be kind of like you guys where you can do these deep grovelly voices. I would never lean towards a character. You know what I mean? So
okay.
Anyway.
Yeah. It was still good.
Do your thing. Do your thing.
Thank you.
You do you. You're right.
Yay. But that, and also to note, that was the one I put together while on stream. So I was getting feedback from people, as I was recording it. So that's why that one in particular took me a long time to do, because people were like, well, why don't you sound a little more angry? Or why don't you sound younger? So it was like kind of being live coached.
Right. Which is not easy. Being in a live session, especially because you don't have just one voice. You had 40 different voices all trying to compete for what you were up to. So I love doing the live stuff, but yeah, you got to be careful with that 100%.
Yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to conclude another episode. This is episode 11, I think, of Cold Read. We've been at it for quite some time. It's crazy. I'm looking at the chats, the comments in chat. I don't know if I'm going to make that a sound effect. Maybe we'll talk about that on my next stream. I don't know if I want to hear that every time.
Do it.
But I think we've given out a lot of good information for those of you that are starting out. Obviously, keep your ears open. Look at the information that's out there. Hopefully, you'll be able to move forward. My gosh, I'm still seeing the comments. I should stop that.
No, but Burnham's wife has now started watching us now, so.
Oh, hi, Burnham's wife. Well, welcome. But yeah, this is great information. Who's doing our intro for next week?
Not it.
Ashley.
Okay.
It's okay. You can just grab Brian and throw something together Saturday night to Sunday morning.
That's kind of our style, anyways.
I appreciate if you guys have any questions or if you have an audition that you want us to listen to, please remember ColdReadthePodcast @gmail.com. If you have any questions for us, whether it be vocal or acting or directing stuff, we've got plenty of people that we can reach out to. Like I said, I've already included Raven Main too. So if you have any questions that you want to direct our way, I will make sure that it gets to the right person or all of us to talk about. If you have a topic, go ahead and drop it there. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Thank you for being here live. If not, thank you so much for watching it on YouTube or anywhere that you can grab your podcasts. Yes.
Woo.
Yeah. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate each and every one of you. We will now sign off and say goodbye. Till next week.
Bye.
Keep those auditions going. And that's a wrap.
Yeah!
Yay!
Random.